Hello, everyone. This is Almost Critics. I'm Caitlin Stowe, and I'm coming to you with a short one today. It's just me on here because I watched these two films by myself. So today I'm going to talk about Badlands and Days of Heaven, which are the first two features from Terrence Malick that I finally caught up with because my boss was shocked that I'd never seen any Malick. So I had a little twofer binge fest to see if I liked him, and I assumed that I wouldn't because I'm personally not one for vague filmmaking, which seems like Malick's speed, but I wanted to give it a go anyway, and I was pleasantly surprised. So, for those of you who are also behind the times like I was and have not seen these films, Badlands is Malick's first feature from 1973, starring Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek. And Days of Heaven is his second feature from 1978, starring Richard Gere, Brooke Adams, and Sam Shepard. I think between the two films, Badlands paled considerably to Days of Heaven. I thought Days of Heaven was beautiful, and Badlands was a little bit shallow. My biggest issue with Badlands was definitely the treatment of Sissy Spacek's character. I felt like she was a prop, and that perhaps it was like either tried to make up for with her narration, or the narration was created first and then Malick just kind of forgot to give her any character beyond that. But either way, she was completely characterless, she was completely blank, and she didn't really move the story along other than to just be a witness for this guy's crimes, which, granted, is kind of the point, that he relishes the witness, that he relishes people watching him be this person and people watching it. But in a from a slightly Bactal point of view, she is only there to be a witness, and she is only there for him, and she is only there to create his character, both in the story and in a more meta sense. In the story, she is only brought along with him because she is easy to drag along. He knows she'll follow, and he knows that she won't get in the way of his fantasy of what he wants his life to be. But that's not really an excuse in the filmmaking for her character and just her viewpoint to be ignored, which it was. That movie was entirely about Martin Sheen, and if you're going to make a movie about one person, don't make us think that it's about another person and then give her no character. My opinion. A little harsh, but it was his first film and it was in 73, so whatever. But personally, I would have enjoyed that film a lot more if Sissy Spacek had been more present. That being said, I think that the depiction of crime, which is still very relevant today, was beautiful. I liked that sort of look at the glamour of crime and the sort of public fascination with crime. It reminded me of the Manson murders and how people are still fascinated with that idea, and has turned him into a celebrity for killing people, which is weird. And so Martin Sheen's character becoming that sort of person and exploring like what leads to that person. I liked the little bits of classism in there, that sort of like, yeah, he's crazy, and he shouldn't really be given any breaks because he's a loose cannon and he killed people who were innocent. But I liked the depiction that he might have not been led down that path if he felt like he had any other options, that being trapped into being a garbage boy or going hungry led him to taking the third option, which was violent crime. So, little piece of that in there, not as much as I would have liked. I saw the classism hinting, and I was like, yes, classism themes, hooray! And it didn't go as far as I'd wanted it to. But the idea of glamorizing criminals is pretty clear, and of course it's Malick, so it's gorgeous. Days of Heaven, on the other hand, was gorgeous through and through. I love Richard Gere's character. What there was of it, none of the characters were very fleshed out. I'm seeing a trend here that maybe Malick, while his dialogue is beautiful and the themes are lovely, the characters themselves are all pretty one note and they're all the same. Martin Sheen's character, in comparison to Richard Gere's character, was colorful and flamboyant and wonderful, whereas Richard Gere's, while more likable and less problematic, was a little more flat. However, I just like Richard Gere and I like his face, so I found him easy to watch and lovely to watch, and heavier classism tones in this one, which I'm a fan of. One of my favorite themes to explore in film. And it gave me a big Grapes of Wrath vibe, which I was really into. So yeah, it was really gorgeous. I think Malik as a whole so far, I'm liking him more than I thought I would. I probably should watch Tree of Life to really flesh out my opinion of him. But for now, I'm going to say he's pretty good. If we go by the rule that you need to like 3 of a director's films before you can say that you like a director, then I would say we're at 1 of 3. So I guess maybe I'll keep watching until I find the other 2, if I find the other 2. For now, if you haven't seen either of these films and you want to get a little taste of Malik, personally, I would suggest Days of Heaven. Badlands is fine, but maybe explore more modern ones. If you're trying to be picky and you don't want to watch all of his work, maybe skip Badlands. I don't think it's essential. So yeah, that's a nice quick little review of Terrence Malick's first 2 films. I'm sure a lot of people disagree with me on those, so I'd love to hear why you think I'm wrong in the comments below, or you can find me on Twitter at Caitlin Stowe. Thanks for listening.